Welcome, brothers and sisters, to Vegan Crypto. Thank you for joining me today. So I'm doing a video like this because when I go live, I tend to get a bunch of questions and dialogue, which I absolutely love. But this video is more for newer people to crypto and maybe some people who have been hurt. All right, majority of you guys I know, like ZE, Metal, and 073. So on and so forth. Many of you know what you're doing and been doing this, but this is more of a rule of thumb and what has worked for me. Okay, a little bit about me real quick. I've been in the financial markets. That's not my full-time job anymore, but have been in it constantly since 91 or 92. I was a financial trader in the 30-year bond pit, the Chicago Board of Trade, and also made a crap load of money trading stocks, equities, and a ton in penny stocks. Made a couple $1 million by, I think it was around 23. Lost about $5 million at 29 in the dot-com bubble. So, not saying I know a ton, but I know what has worked for me and what hasn't. Been in crypto since the beginning in regards to watching it, and have truly been in it since 2015, 2014, around then. So, mentioned how to make $1 million in this bull run. Let's start with how not to. Just a couple, I'm doing this off the fly, just got done with my run. A couple things I'm thinking of. Well, definitely how not to. You do not want to, when we're in the market, in the bull market, which we are not right now. We are in a bull trend and downward trend, and I would say it's been bearish for quite some time. What you don't want to do is, if you have somewhat of a diversified portfolio, and if you look at all my videos, I go over a lot of this stuff, but I'm trying to do it without being interrupted so I can help, because I've had a lot of comments on this and questions. What you don't want to do, let's say you have somewhat of a diversified portfolio. Maybe you're in a couple different sectors, and one of those sectors is doing very well, it's popping. Let's say you're in layer 2s and your Optimism and Polygon is popping, and let's say Arbitrum isn't. And so you sell out of your ARB and you go into Polygon. Well, Polygon just had its lift off and you bought in towards the top of that rally. Then a week or 2 weeks later, Arbitrum pops. It doesn't always work like that, but it does more times than not, right? You'll be looking, everything's rallying, and you're looking at your portfolio going, well, what's with mine? Well, I can tell you, I'm heavily diversified this bull run, and I've been doing that since, forever, but heavily diversified since the last, since we were in the depths of the bear market, constantly DCAing into new projects and loading up on some older projects. DCA averaged my cost, ADA being one of them. Okay. Should have probably done that with a couple losers, like AMP and a couple other things, but I'll go into that in a minute. So you just want to be careful, because remember, you're paying fees, you're paying, if you made a little bit on that, taxes, and then you're going into a project that just had a lift off, and now you're in it and it's already had its run. Now it's a sell-off because people are taking profits or getting into a different narrative, or they're pumping it into Arbitrum, the one that you just got out of. So be careful with trading projects. You will deplete your cash flow very quickly, and I've seen it a million times. Excuse the out of breath a little bit. Like I said, I just got done running. And excuse the wind if it's bad. So next is being, all in one narrative. I don't recommend that. I just don't recommend being in all L2s or all AI, all RWAs. That will, I believe I'm in diversified in the majority of things, except for, let's say, DeFi Science. And I've been loading up more on DePIN. So I'm heavily diversified, but I have the cash flow to do that. And I've been DCAing for a long time. If you have very little money, you have to be careful with that, right? 100 in here, 100 there, 100 there is not going to suit you well. 100 in storage, then 100 in Bitcoin, and then 100 in Ethereum, and then 100 in Polygon, and 200 in Ondo. We don't have enough money in there to do life changing and to get you to $1 million, that's for sure. But most likely be somewhat profitable when those I mentioned just move, because all those I just mentioned will move at some point. But I'm talking maybe more obscure projects. So be careful if you have a ton of cash flow and you haven't been DCAing. Well, maybe now's the time. And you really got to think about it before you load into something. Has the narrative played out? Well, I don't think any narrative has played out yet. When we get into the real bull run, everything will have its turn. But our WAs are so hot right now, they could definitely have their run up and then be played out. But we don't know that until the thick of things. We just don't know yet. Baby geese having their babies. Spring is here. The babies. So do what you can do to get money if you don't have it. Whatever it takes to have dry powder, and I preach this all the time. I know a couple of people of you are getting an extra job just to do this, because this, if we get into the thick of it, and I always say the thick of it because that's how I describe it, because we get a parabolic bull run, which people are calling for a couple of weeks from now. No way. It takes time to get to that stage. That brings it. You have to be in a euphoric stage to get there, and Bitcoin will have to go to all-time highs again and break through it and all that, and then some money comes out of Bitcoin while that still keeps going up, and get into the alts and just go crazy. But that's just history. Everything changes. But we are following Bitcoin. Alts are following Bitcoin like crazy right now. A lot of times you'll see a decline in alts when Bitcoin goes up, and money goes into, out of alts and into Bitcoin, and then, like I said, out transfer into alts where they can make more gains, right? 65,000 to 70,000 is lovely for Bitcoin, but AIOZ a penny to $1.09. Which would you rather be in? Well, I think we know that. We can do math. So, what else not to do? Be careful with listening to certain crypto YouTubers. I believe in listening to them. Just be careful of the advice. If anyone is, giving sponsors and constantly preaching their wallet and this Discord group and this group and my newsletter in this private group, it's a load of crap. They might have good info in there, but keep your cash and buy a project. There's enough YouTubers out there that give information for free, like myself, that want nothing from you. I've turned down over 30 sponsors, turned down over 20 products to discuss. Now, I've discussed some products. I get no money from them. I have no vested interest except for trying to help. So I would take sponsors, but only for if I really, truly, truly believed in it. I'm very picky. I'm not doing this for the money. I'm doing this to help. You'll hear that from a lot of people. Well, they're not doing it to help if they want money from you. I want no money from you. All I would like is maybe to subscribe, and share. I'd like to get this community up to 1,000 people. That would be great. But I'm not, I will answer all comments. And even if it's too long of an answer, I'll do a short video or a video for you. I can afford to do that now with time because I only have pushing up to 200 subscribers. So if you see this, please subscribe. I would be very appreciative. And when I get to a certain amount, I'm happy to give back. I do have a Tangem wallet link. You don't have to use it, but you get 10% off. Tangem's the only wallet I'm using now. I've used a million things. I threw out my Ledger. I hate it. I've had it since the beginning when they came out, and it's just too complicated. Don't like it. So if you use that, I believe there's maybe a kickback to me. I don't know. I've never seen one. That'll go to the animal sanctuary. Or if enough people get them, I will give it back to you guys. I'll buy something, maybe a Tangent wallet or whatever. Not a wallet, something that you guys can use, but we can discuss that later. So be careful with the people you listen to. I believe in listening to them, but just if someone tells you to buy something, don't do it. At least do the research. I have found a ton of good projects from other channels, a ton. And I do my research, and I've bought into many of them, PNG being one of them. And I've turned on a ton of people to AIOZ and Ondo. I was talking about that before anyone. But I believe, PNG has been great. Cody, didn't know Cody that well and bought in very cheap. PNG has been unbelievable for me. So listen, take it with a grain of salt, and be selective who you listen to. But I believe in always kind of find more good crypto people, and if you can handle them, give them a listen. If they don't answer your comments, if they don't answer, that's a struggle. It's supposed to be a community, and that's what I'm trying to build here. What else? Make sure you take profits, and do what you can to minimize your commission and fee costs. You just can't be jumping in and out. If you're looking for leverage and trading answers, this is not the channel. I used to do that. I do not trade anymore. I do make a couple trades here and there, but it's spot. It's not on leverage. It's all that type of stuff. And it's usually pretty significant amounts, a few $100,000 in and out within a day, but not on leverage. But it typically costs you an arm and a leg for taxes and for fees. So how have I been successful, and what my thoughts are on how you're going to make money? Well, first of all, you should have been DCAing for the last few years. If you haven't, that's okay. You have to watch the narratives, and that's where listening to other channels come into play. I probably like Joshua Jake. He, for being so young, he does a good job at narratives and giving some pretty good advice for newbies. I like it. The rest of that channel, no. He's on Discover Crypto, don't. And there's a few others, but I have reviews if you want to look at my videos, my thoughts on YouTubers out there. You won't get any thrills out of this channel. I just kind of speak from what I know and what I'm seeing and what I'm doing. I'm not going to edit. I'm not going to do all that crazy stuff. It's Monday morning. I've already had 3 conference calls this morning, and I have 2 meetings later. So get money, get money, get money. If you're not in the market, you got to jump in. You have to pay attention to the numbers that are coming out every week, because that's what's driving this market right now. And in regards to selling and buying, right? CPI, PPI, NVIDIA's numbers are coming out this week. So that's driving the AI narrative. We would have been pumping harder in the AI narrative if we didn't have a little bit of sell-off due to early last week's anticipation of the CPI number. So that could be sell the news, but if NVIDIA's numbers come out good, that's wonderful for AI, but they have to meet or beat expectations most likely, if that makes sense to you. So, they could be profitable and hit their number, but what's the expectation of the market? So if NVIDIA stock does well, we could see either profit taken on AI or another bump up. But it's all going to matter on what Bitcoin does, right? NVIDIA can do great, and if Bitcoin's getting creamed, unlikely that AI is going to do well. But you do see sometimes Bitcoin takes a dump, and certain alts do go up 20, 30%. It's people taking money out of Bitcoin and throwing it into a particular project, or whale manipulation. So you're getting money, you're jumping in, you're now watching some good YouTubers and then doing your own research. But you got to be able to ask questions within, hopefully you're in a community like this where they'll help you answer questions. I don't have a ton of people talking, but I will answer everything as much as I can. Excuse me, there's going to be a storm happening. You have to follow the narratives, because in the bull run, that'll change. That will definitely change. I mean, we've already had a huge run up in AI since the beginning of the year. That narrative has cooled down a little bit, but there hasn't been anything really spiking, so it cooled down with everything else. You have to take profits. Don't get stuck. You don't say woulda, coulda, shoulda. When you know you're out before you get in. If you buy something at $1 or $100, it doesn't matter. But I'm going to use an example of lower price, $1. Know that you want to sell it at $5. And here's the caveat on that. So you want to sell it at $5. You bought in. We get to $5, but we blow past it. It's okay to hold on. See where it goes. If you keep blowing past it, you may build a little bit of support. Let's say you go to $6. You might have some support there at around $5.50 or $6. So it is changeable, but it's not a bad idea to take out your initial investment. And if you're up enough, some profits. And remember, in those profits, you have to take out taxes. So you can let the rest of it ride if you like, or you can leave it all in. But don't be greedy. What killed me back in the day was greed. I was seeing my profits going from, buying something, Priceline.com at $6 and it's at $86, right? The market in the .com used to trade like crypto. Literally used to trade that crazy. You couldn't even buy in, it was moving so fast. But then when it sold off, you couldn't get out. So, know you're out before you get in. Ask questions. Have money. If you only have a couple $100, that's fine, but that is not going to make you rich. Even if you get lucky, right? On the ones I've bought at a penny and have gone to, $1, that, $100, that's nice. It's a good, profit, but it's not enough to have independence. Not enough to get you where you want, but it's a good start if that's all you have. But we're talking about how to really make it. You have to have money. Do not take a loan out ever for crypto. Do not listen to people giving price predictions. Nobody knows. They have an idea where they want to get out, but nobody knows. When they just say $50, they don't have a clue. No one has a clue. If they did, do you think they'd be telling you? Do you think they'd be on YouTube? Do you think, it's just not happening. So, what is your plan to get extra money if you don't have it? Whatever it takes, there's a ton of options out there. But make it significant, because the time is now. The time was a couple years ago. Also, how you're going to make it, don't be afraid to buy on green days. Everyone says not to. It depends what's going on. If we're rallying hard, there's nothing wrong with buying in green. Now, if something's up 100%, it's not the greatest to do, but I can tell you this, you'll have projects going up 100%, the next day it's up another 100%, the next day up it's another 100%, and there's no sell-off in sight for 1,000%. You will go to bed sometimes and you'll wake up and your project is up 300%. You'll wake up and your project will be down 300%. So it switches. But I would say everyone's a genius in the bull run, right? You can just throw a dart at the wall and the majority of stuff will go and have their turn. So, back to the diversification. You have to be diversified. But it's, you have to be ready to make the change too. So follow, as I said before, the narratives. That is so huge. And I'm not going to talk about exit strategy because we're so far away from that. We got to begin the beginning strategy, which is just buying in. And weather is picking up. Always, during this market especially, read and watch what's going on in the macro environment. That is driving a ton right now. Now, there was a crash with Iranian president. You would have thought that would have killed the market, thinking of some type of terrorist. I wouldn't say terrorist, but some type of attack on them. Well, that's good that it has not spooked the market too much. But you need to follow all that information. It'll give you an explanation of why the market is doing what it's doing, because we are following macro. We're supposed to be a spread. We're supposed to be a hedge, you know, in the real markets, equities and inflation. We're not at this point. Bitcoin somewhat is, if you look at the history of it, but you know, this is not an inflation video. But please follow the macro environment. It's extremely important, especially for this bull run, because there will be FUD coming out. Do not panic sell when crap hits the fan in the heat of the bull market. That's when you DCA, right? I saw last market, Ethereum went down $1,700 within, 30 seconds. I bought more. Went right back up 2 weeks later. It went up immediately, but not back to where it was. So don't panic sell. Don't panic buy. You're going to see projects that, they will get listed on Coinbase, and they will go from 6 cents to 20 cents to 10 cents to 20 cents constantly. Be careful getting caught on that. A lot of things that get listed fast. I don't know if we always have the Coinbase effect now. It probably won't be as much this bull run, especially when they only used to list 4 or 5 projects. Now there's, a ton you can buy. Be careful getting caught in that initial offering. Excuse me, I'm seeing a loose dog. So, you never lose money if you don't sell at a loss. From the last bull run, am down, I think, on 4 projects. Alchemy Pay, that's one that came on Coinbase. I bought it at 11 cents. Could have sold it at 20 some cents. Didn't, wrote it all the way down. It's at like 3 cents now. I just want to get my money back. District OX, 11 cents. Was up a ton of money at one point. Been at 2 cents for the bull market. A couple months ago, went above. I was in profit of it. I thought I'd wait. It's back down. It'll come back. ADA. I've DCA'd on the way down since the highs. I didn't buy at the highs, but my average in is around $1. You're not down unless you sell. Now, sometimes if you're in with a ton of money, you may want to cut your losses if you want to get into a project. But I'm talking about when we get in the bear market. You're not going to lose until you sell. Now, if you make a ton of money, you might want to offset that with your losers, tax-wise. That makes sense. That makes complete sense. So, you're not going to make a ton of money on Ethereum, Bitcoin, Polygon, the big boys. Maybe Solana, but you're not, what will it, 3x, 4x? We don't know. But you have to have some of your, it's not financial advice, of course, but this is what, if we want to make serious money, this is how I have done it. And I've done it this bull run already. Now I'm down portfolio in certain sectors, but it doesn't matter. I'm up a couple $1 million on others. So you have to look at mini caps, micro caps, small caps, large caps, blue chips. Right? The blue chips are not bad to have, but I wouldn't be buying, if I'm looking to make a ton of money, Solana. It all depends on your initial capital, but I would not be buying Solana and the ones I mentioned, the ones in the top 10. Even Ondo that I love, I don't know how good it's going to do. It's already, got a good market cap. I believe it'll do well, but it'll take a little bit of money to pop that up. The smaller ones, you can look at that. The ones I have. If you haven't seen this video, Benki, Koval, a bunch of small little guys. I have a ton in them. All they have to do, if all of those went to 10 cents, it'd be $1 million. All of them. And I've been buying them below a penny, at a penny, below 2 pennies. Some I've bought above 2 pennies, but my average is still like 1 penny or 0.0122. Those are going to make you a ton of money. Now, they won't all move. They'll move one way. They're not going to stay there. But when they move, right now they move in increments of a penny. In the heat of the bull market, they'll move by a penny. So you have 10,000, 100,000 of something at a penny. You can do the math. Every penny it goes up. Some of these I have 500,000 to $1 million of it a penny. Every penny it goes up 10 grand, 10 grand, 10 grand, 10 grand. Koval, I have a ton of. Got up to 6 pennies. If I would have sold out, would have been a ton of money. But I'm waiting because I believe it'll do much better. So you have to be diversified through those sectors. You know, there are so many, and don't get caught, you know, with the memes. Memes are doing well for people. That'll end at some point, I believe. But it's not good to have, it's not a bad idea to have a couple in your portfolio. I only have Bonk. I'm not a meme guy. That's the only one I have, just for the hell of it. It's up a ton of money on it, but I don't care. I'm going to let that ride. I'll either let it ride all the way down or wherever it goes. It has such a huge market cap, whatever, trillion, that it's not going to get to a penny. But I'm up on it. If I can get, you know, if it gets to a penny, I think I'll make about 800 grand on it. I don't think it will. I think if we get a spike and memes follow it, the bigger memes, it'll get to 0.0009 or something. It's not going to go, you know, it takes a ton to move that. Right? So I'm down big on like AMP. And I could have DCA'd it and probably got out my money of it. But, you know, at this point, I just hold on and wait. And I'll take half of the money if I can get it to 3 cents. I'm in at 6 cents. So be careful with these larger caps. When another point is you have to look at token supply. If you don't know how to do that, get a hold of me. I'll show you a calculator that can help you. Yeah, you don't want to be in a ton of projects that have 30, 35 billion tokens and above. You don't even want to be in ones that have 10 billion. Look at Polygon. It doesn't move. It's got a huge token supply of 10 billion. Now you might think that's nothing compared to XRP or ADA. Ooh, that went, but it is. 10 billion is still brutal. You know, Ondo will be there eventually, but we have time for that. You know, even a billion's pushing it, but it's okay. Those will move, but you have to look at token supply. All right, this weather's picking up. So if you could like, subscribe. I got a ton more to share that I will. Kind of got off track there, but let's build this community. Whatever questions you have, comment. I will answer. I'll go live and we can discuss this more. There's a ton of ways to make money. I just went over a few. But the key is being in the game and having a good amount of money to be in there. Making 100 grand will not be hard, in my view. Never had an issue doing that in this. Making $1 million is a little tougher. You'll need money to make money. But if you do the right steps, you'll do it. All right. Peace and love. Like and subscribe if you will. Let me know what you need.